Imagine walking alone, dead in the night. The air is heavy and the darkness feels alive. But what if it is? From the bloodthirsty Manananggal soaring above, its wings slicing through the silence to the eerie Tianak, its innocent cry luring you into the shadows, and that rustling in the trees. Could it be the Capre, watching, waiting? Philippine folklore hides monsters that make your worst nightmares feel tame. Are they real or myth? Are you brave enough to uncover their secrets? But first, the Philippines is rich in culture, folklore and myths, shaped by a blend of indigenous beliefs, colonial influences and regional traditions. Its folklore is deeply rooted in pre-colonial animism, supernatural legends and mythical creatures passed down through generations. Here are the top 13 super scary Philippine creatures. When the sun sets and darkness takes hold, the Aswang awakens, its twisted body shifting, bones snapping into unnatural shapes as it transforms into a nightmare. It is neither human nor beast, but something far worse, a creature that feeds on flesh, drinks blood and tears through the night in search of prey. No one truly knows what an Aswang looks like, because it can hide among us, wearing the disguise of an ordinary person by day. It smiles, speaks and blends in. But when the hunger strikes, its eyes burn red, its tongue stretches impossibly long, and its fangs glisten with hunger. It moves silently, creeping into homes where children sleep and the weak are defenseless. And the worst part, you may not even know one is watching you, until it's too late. Have you ever heard footsteps on your roof at night? A faint scratching sound at your window? Beware, the Aswang might already be near. In the heart of Philippine folklore lurks the Manananggal, a nightmarish creature that preys on the unsuspecting under the cover of darkness. By day, she appears as an ordinary woman, but by night, she splits her body in half, sprouting massive bat-like wings as her upper torso soars through the air in search of victims. Known for its hunger for unborn children, the Manananggal hovers over sleeping pregnant women, using its long snake-like tongue to drain the life from the womb. The only way to kill this fearsome creature is to find and destroy its abandoned lower half before sunrise. Wherever the Manananggal lurks, the Tiktik is never far behind. This eerie bird-like entity serves as both an omen and an accomplice, emitting deceptive, chilling cries that mislead victims. The farther away the Tiktik sounds, the closer the danger truly is. Some believe that the Tiktik aids the Manananggal by scouting for prey and distracting potential threats. Together, these creatures haunt the Philippine countryside, their legend striking fear into those who dare to wander the night. Keep garlic, salt and blessed objects close, because when the Manananggal and Tiktik are near, escape is nearly impossible. Tikbalang, the hellish trickster. Lost in the jungle, the trees twist and shift, the path you once knew vanishes. You were warned not to stray, but now it is too late. The Tikbalang has found you. The Tikbalang is no mere trickster, it is a master of madness. It delights in leading weary travellers astray, trapping them in an endless maze of despair. You wander in circles, the trees whispering as they shift behind your back, the ground beneath your feet no longer familiar. Panic sets in. You swear you've passed the same tree 100 times, its gnarled roots twisting like outstretched fingers. They say wearing your clothes inside out may break its spell. But does it truly? Or does it only amuse the beast as it watches you stumble blindly, knowing your mind will break long before your body does? The Capre, the smoking giant, a suffocating presence, a weight upon your shoulders. The stench of burnt leaves and decay fills your lungs. You are not alone. Look up. The trees whisper warnings too late. The Capre has already seen you. Some say the Capre only watches. But those who cross it know better. The unlucky ones find themselves cursed, haunted by its gaze forever. An unseen hand on your shoulder, a shadow where none should be. It will never leave you. No matter how far you run, no matter how brightly the sun shines, it waits in the corners of your vision, silent, watching. The Tianak, the damned child. If you hear a crying child abandoned in the night, your mother's instinct may kick in to comfort the infant, but don't. It would be a fatal mistake. The crying infant's face will contort, its flesh splitting to reveal jagged, glistening teeth, its tiny fingers stretching into blackened claws. The Tianak was never meant to be. It is the spirit of a forsaken child, denied the warmth of a grave, left to rot in the wilderness. Its cries are a trap, its laughter a curse, and once it latches onto you, it will never let go. You try to scream, but your voice catches in your throat. Its small, gnarled hands grasp at your skin, digging into your flesh with unnatural strength. It giggles, eyes gleaming with malice as it drags you into the shadows. The Kumau is a terrifying, little-known creature, often whispered about in the dead of night. This monstrous being is said to prowl the deep jungles and remote villages, moving with unnatural silence despite its massive sinewy frame. Legends describe the Kumau as having the body of a man, but with twisted limbs, elongated fingers tipped with razor-sharp claws, and glowing ember-red eyes that burn through the darkness. Its skin is dark and leathery, stretched taut over its skeletal form, making it look like a creature of famine and endless hunger. But its most terrifying feature is its mouth, grotesquely wide, splitting across its face, lined with jagged teeth that glisten with the blood of past victims. The Kumau is a night stalker, preying on those who wander alone after dusk, especially children, to take and collect their fingernails while they bleed to death. It does not run or chase, it lurks in the shadows, waiting. Some say if you feel a chilling breath on your neck but see nothing behind you, it's already too late. Worse, the Kumau is said to toy with its prey, mimicking human voices to lure victims deeper into the forest. A lost traveller may hear a loved one calling their name, only to turn and see nothing but darkness until two glowing eyes flicker into view. Even fire, garlic and salt, known deterrents for other beings, are said to not affect the Kumau. The only escape, according to old tales, is never to acknowledge it. The Batibat is a vengeful spirit that inhabits old trees and suffocates those who dare sleep beneath its domain. It sits on your chest, its bloated form crushing the life from you as you struggle for breath. If you're in a remote village, be careful with whom you speak, for you may offend. Deep in the shadows of Philippine folklore lurks the Mambabarang, a sorcerer feared for their mastery of black magic and insect-driven curses. Unlike ordinary witches, the Mambabarang doesn't simply hex their victims, they infest them, turning their bodies into breeding grounds for horror. Whispered tales speak of their gruesome rituals where they capture insects, beetles, ants, centipedes, whisper incantations over them, and release them into the flesh of their enemies. Victims wake up with strange pains, their skin swelling unnaturally, only to later discover writhing bugs crawling beneath their flesh, burrowing into their organs, chewing their way out. The most terrifying part? There is no escape. The Mambabarang's curses are relentless, and unless countered by a powerful healer, their victims will suffer agonizing deaths, vomiting blood, hallucinating grotesque visions, or feeling their bodies rot from the inside out. They say the Mambabarang's power comes from a dark pact, a deal made in exchange for their humanity. Their eyes glow eerily in the dark, and they keep jars of insects, their living weapons, hidden within their homes. If you cross one, you may not even realize you've been cursed until it's too late. The Sigbin, the horrifying pet. This ghoulish creature slinks through the darkness, walking backward with its head between its hind legs, its glowing red eyes scanning for its next victim. Its bat-like ears twitch, listening for the sound of a lone traveller, a defenseless child, or an unlucky soul caught outside after dark. With each step, its long razor-sharp claws scrape against the ground, and the foul stench of rotting flesh fills the air, a warning too late for those who inhale its deathly breath. They say the Sigbin drains its victims dry, sucking their blood and devouring their shadows, leaving behind only shriveled husks that no one will ever find. Worse still, it is believed that some families secretly keep Sigbins, using them to gain wealth and power in exchange for human sacrifices. The Macaralig shape-shifting giant. The Macaralig is a fearsome creature, described as a gigantic shadowy beast that roams dense forests and mountainous regions at night. Legends say that its form is ever-shifting, sometimes appearing as a massive horned humanoid with glowing red eyes and jagged tusks, while at other times it takes the shape of a monstrous four-legged predator cloaked in mist. According to folklore, the Macaralig is a guardian spirit of nature, punishing those who harm the land. Hunters who take more than they need, or loggers who cut sacred trees without permission, are said to be haunted by this terrifying being. It is known for its deep, thunderous growl that echoes through the valleys, warning trespassers to turn back. Some say the Macaralig is an ancient being bound by a curse, only appearing on moonless nights when the balance of nature is disturbed. The only way to appease it, elders say, is to offer respect to the spirits of the land and leave behind gifts of food and incense. Night fell, and the village streets emptied. Only the foolish dared wander after dark, for that was when the Amalanhig emerged. Stiff-limbed and silent, it dragged its feet across the ground, its lifeless eyes searching for the scent of the living. Those who ran never got far. Though its movement seemed rigid, the Amalanhig never tired, chasing its victims until their legs gave out. Only those who knew the old ways had a chance, climbing trees, crossing water, anything to break its relentless pursuit. But the creature always returned, roaming the night, forever hunting, forever cursed. The Boongizngis. A one-eyed giant with an eternal grin, the laughter of the Boongizngis echoes through the mountains, signalling impending doom for those who hear it. These are not mere fairy tales, nor are they bedtime stories. They are warnings, etched into our culture, passed down in whispers, stitched into the fabric of our fears. Therefore, when traveling, try not to stray from the path. Do not listen to the whispers. Do not meet their gaze. Do not respond to the voices in the dark. Do not turn when you hear footsteps behind you. If you do, the last thing you'll ever see is its monstrous grin widening right before everything goes black. This is the Night Vault wishing you sweet dreams. That is, if you dare.